Hello, very good morning, students. I am Vaibhav Shah, and today we are going to discuss about OC and chapter number 2nd, that is Principles of Management. And we are discussing about the general management principles given by Henry Fayol. I hope all of you are safe at your home. Please take care of yourself and your family, as we are moving from a very hard stage of a life where we cannot know anything about the next step. And second thing which I want to share with you is that it is the golden time that you are getting by staying at your home, where you do not have to worry about anything, like no rush for going to school, no rush for completing any of the other work. So it is my best advice for all of you that please take your this year as a serious, along with all these different kind of natural calamities and this pandemic. We have to complete our boards year, that is the career year, and that's why I request you to take it very serious and please complete all the tasks and all the homework and all the lectures which are given by your school. Thank you very much. Now let us move forward. Today we are going to discuss from principle number 7, that is remuneration of personnel. But before that, let us take the glimpse of the 6 principles which we had discussed till the day. Very first principle is about division of work, where we had discussed like the division of work, and by this we can get the possibility of specialization, or through this specialization we can get the work very efficiently and productive resources will be give more production. So division of work should be done at managerial and factory level both, to take the benefit of these principles of specialization. In second principle of management, we discuss that authority and responsibility is the two sides of a coin, and whenever we are awarding anyone with the responsibility, we should give them power so that they can get work done from others, and it will be beneficial to complete the task within a certain time period. And while assigning the power, we have to take care about the different parameters like post of employee, knowledge, qualification, experience, art of leadership, maturity, etc. Third point, we discuss about discipline. That means it creates certain kind of harmonious relationship, and industrial discipline can be established by certain kind of rules and code of conduct, and that's why the governance takes place in unit, and managers can take work easily from the many number of different kind of employees. Then in fourth point, that is in unity of command, we discussed that employee cannot follow orders from more than one superior. Hence this principle shows that employee should get order from only one supervisor. That's why the confusion cannot create in the organization, and it will result into the industrial discipline, and which removes the confusion among employees. Then next one is the unity of direction. Same as unity of command, here there is a one group of people who will be able to give direction to different employees on their concerns and on their problems and errors. And lastly, in sixth point, we discuss about the subordination of individual interest to general interest. It means whenever we are talking about the benefit of a whole unit, we have to subsidize our personal interest for the benefit of a whole team. Now let us move towards the point number 7, that is remuneration of personnel. First of all, remuneration means return against the services provided by employees. According to this principle, remuneration of employees of company should be suitable, ideal. Payment of wages makes stronger relationship between owner and employees. All employees do not work with the same efficiency in a unit. There are some efficient employees who are giving more production and doing more work. They should be compensated against the efficiency, and by doing this, worker turnover rate decreases. Promotional schemes like bonus, profit sharing, representation in managerial committee should be implemented for skilled workers. So first of all, this point is also discussed while we discuss about the Frederick W. Taylor's principles of scientific management. Remuneration means any kind of return in the form of wages and salaries which are given to the employees on a timely manner so that they can work with a very efficiency and productivity of organization can be increased. Here, one thing we have to consider is that majority of the employees who are working in the business unit are basically motivated through the financial motivation itself. So, remuneration of personnel is the main point where the employees who are working in the organization are get motivated. So, let us discuss this point in a detail. Remuneration means return against the services provided by employees. First of all, line this statement as it will be asked in 1 mark in your final examination. So it means any kind of return given to the employees or workers for service rendered by them during the working hours in the organization. According to this principle, remuneration of employees of company should be suitable, ideal, payment of wages makes stronger relation between owner and employees. So along with the return given to the employees, we should take care regarding that the remuneration of employees of company should be suitable. It means it should be according to the position and power of the employee who is working in the organization. If he is at the lower level, then his salary or wages should be according to that. In middle level or at topper level, it should be according to their position. Second, ideal payment of wages makes stronger relation between owner and employees. As we all know that the employees are the heart and soul of organization. They are the only living factors of production which can increase or decrease the production according to the need of the organization. So it may happen that if we provide them ideal payment of wages, it means if they are satisfied enough with the payment of wages of the organization, it makes stronger relationship between owners and employees. In majority of the organization, nowadays the organizational leaders or the owners are taking care of this thing very seriously. It means they are considering that ideal payment of wages will result into the higher productivity, honesty and integrity of the employees, and by that way they are getting the maximum benefit of employees, and by this way they are getting the maximum productivity. During this pandemic time period also, some of the industrial leaders or entrepreneurs have already discussed and already announced that will not cut the salary or wages of employees who are working in our organization, and this gives the positive impact on the working of the employees, and it results into higher productivity when the lockdowns are opened. So it will be helpful in stronger relationship between owners and employees. Next one, all the employees do not work with the same efficiency in a unit, as we already discussed in last some of the points that the efficiency of workers are different. It means all of them are not efficiently working in an organization and they are not capable to complete the task within a stipulated time period. We discussed this point in a very detail while there was a discussing regarding F.W. Taylor's principle. So the efficiency of employees are different. There are some efficient employees, means all those who are giving more production and doing more work. Sometimes it may happen that they are completing their task before the time period, or sometimes they are giving more productivity to the organization, which results into more production units, and it results into fulfillment of order in a very short period of time. So, if the efficient employees who are working in the organization and all those who are giving more production and doing more work and with very high efficiency, they should be compensated against their efficiency. As we discussed in the matters of F.W. Taylor, that if the employees are efficient enough and if they are doing above average work, then they should be compensated between 30% to 100% of their wages. And if we compensated them with this higher or better incentives, then they will work more and it will result into higher productivity and production for the business unit. So if they should be compensated against their efficiency, and by doing this, worker turnover rate decreases. Now first of all, we will understand what is worker turnover rate. During the working of the organization, many of the people who are leaving the organization for one or more reasons. In that, if particular work assigned to a particular person and if he left the job, then someone else will conduct his task. Again, the someone else also left the job, and same way, if majority or many of the employees who are leaving the organization for one or more reason, it is called workers turnover rate, and it should be asked in your examination also. So if the workers are leaving the organization, then it is called worker turnover rate. Why the word turnover is used here? Because when one work is assigned to a single person or one employee, he left the job and someone else will complete his task. But during the completion of this task, he also left the job and someone else. So there is a high turnover rate of the employees. It means they're coming and going, goes on, and that's why it is called workers turnover rate. But if once we compensated the higher efficient workers with the higher wages or with the higher benefits like bonus, commission, etc., then the worker turnover rate will decrease. It means they are not able to leave the job for any of the reasons, and it will be in the beneficial of the organization itself. Next, promotional schemes like bonus, profit sharing, representation in managerial committee should be implemented for skilled workers. Now, Henry Fayol is in favor that along with higher remuneration, if we are providing some other promotional schemes like bonus, as per the norms of government, it is compulsory to give a minimum bonus of 8.33% of salary to each and every employees in the organization where 20 or more workers are working. So it is compulsory to provide them 8.33% as a bonus, but if the organization is providing them more than 8.33%, or we can say that it is compulsion to pay 100% of salary, that is the 100% of your monthly salary as a bonus. But if organization is providing more than that, then it is in the benefit of the employees and it will result into the higher efficiency. In profit sharing, it is the concept that the working and the profit of the organization is not the sole activity and efforts of management itself. It is the joint activity and joint effort of employees and management, and that's why the workers are having right to get more benefit as a profit sharing from the profit which earned by the organization. And by this way, the employers are providing or they are sharing the profit among all those workers who are efficient enough and helpful in completing the target of the organization. Next one is a representation in a managerial committee. Out of the total worker, the efficient one and the knowledgeable and most important, or we can say the employer of the year, so the employee of the year is awarded as a representation in managerial committee, where He should have right to stay in the management's meeting and contribute in the decision making process of the management itself, and it will increase the efficiency and workaholic, or we can say the work ethics of the employee, and which results into higher productivity. So it should be implemented for skilled workers. So here in remuneration of personnel we discussed that along with minimum wages, there should be suitable ideal payment of wages match the strong relation between owners and employees. We have to take care of all those efficient employees who are working in the organization and contributing in higher productivity and production, and by the different promotional schemes like bonus, profit sharing, representation in managerial committee, we should encourage them, and it will result into the higher productivity of employees. Now let us move towards the eighth principle, that is centralization. There must be clarity that to which extent centralization or decentralization should be done to make successful management infrastructure. If powers are not delegated, it is centralization. To make best use of employee strength, principle of centralization should be adopted. Centralization has low success ratio in giant size units, hence centralization and decentralization is done as per the size of unit. So first of all, we will understand what is centralization and what is decentralization. When the powers are not delegated to any of the unit, it means there are some of the people like board of directors or the owners of the organization itself take everything or every decision regarding the business unit by themselves and not allowing anyone to contribute in the decision making process. They are the planners who are planning each and every business activity of organization, and while middle level and bottom level is the implementer who have to implement all these roles which are allotted to them by the top level authority, is called centralization, where authority and responsibility lies to the top level only, and middle level and bottom level are just the implementers of all the decision taken by the top level. It is called centralization. While decentralization is the same as division of labor. It means in decentralization, it is totally contrary to the centralization, where powers, authority and responsibility is distributed among the middle level and bottom level of management also. It means all the decisions taken by the organization is with the help of middle level and bottom level management. It means they are allotted their job role and powers and authorities to play in the organization. So here in point number 8, the Henry Fayol is in favor of centralization. So let us understand this point. There must be clarity that to which extent centralization or decentralization should be done to make successful management infrastructure. If the organization is smaller or micro or medium size, then it is advisable to have a centralization position where the business owners or managers or the leaders are having the total control of each and every activity of organization. But if the organization is of a medium term and long term, it means if there are more than 100, 200, 500 or 1000 workers are working in the organization, it is advisable to have decentralization. So first of all, in any of the organization, there must be clarity that to which extent centralization or decentralization should be done. So as we discussed that in smaller organization it is advisable to centralization, in larger organization it is advisable to decentralization, but the extent to which is the matter of concern. If all the activities should be done in a proper manner and the authority and responsibility is divided among the middle level managers, that is the functional level managers like production manager, HR manager, finance manager, etc. The extent of powers should be decided well in advance, because we cannot give them 100% power, and if we providing them 100% power, then the role of top level management will be minimal, and they cannot control any of the situation of the business organization. So first of all, there should be clarity regarding the decentralization or centralization and its extent. Next, if powers are not delegated, it is centralization. As we already discussed that if powers and authorities lies with the top level management itself and not delegated among the middle and bottom level, then it is called centralization. To make best use of employees' strength, principle of centralization should be adopted. Here, the Henry Fayol is in favor that if we want to make the best use of employees' strength, because in centralization, each and everything is decided by top level management. So they decide the job role, job authority, working conditions, targets, everything by them. And if the employees are more efficient or they are more qualified enough, then if we want to make their best use, it means if we want to grab the maximum benefit from the employee's strength, then principle of centralization should be adopted, because here the top level management decides everything regarding their working and their productivity and their production, their promotion, transfer, everything. And by this way, they will be able to using the maximum strength of the employees. Next, centralization has low success ratio in giant size units. As we already discussed that if 500 or 1000 or 2000 employees are working, then centralization is not at all successful, because there is the problem of command and discipline is there. And if there is a centralization, then one or few people is not able to control each and every situation by themselves. So it is advisable to have decentralization position in a giant size business unit, and hence centralization and decentralization is done as per the size of unit. So I have already mentioned that if the organization is smaller sizer, then there should be centralization of power, and if the organization is of the giant size or larger, then the decentralization should be there. So in centralization, we discussed that there should be clarity regarding the extent of centralization or decentralization, and if we are able to grab the opportunity of getting the best use of employee strength, then there should be principle of centralization adopted. And in giant size unit, the centralization has low success ratio, while in smaller size unit, the centralization is having the highest success ratio. Now let us move towards the ninth principle of management, that is scalar chain. This principle emphasizes on creating chain from top level management to bottom level employees. Chain of power from higher administrative officers to bottom level employees should not be broken. Powers and responsibility should be vested as per their respective level. Employees working in a unit should be aware of who is responsible to whom. As a result, a scalar chain occurs which moves from top to bottom and from bottom to top. Let us now discuss this principle. This principle is focusing on the authority and responsibility. As we all know that authority moves from top level to bottom level. It means the authority moves from top level to middle level and middle level to bottom level. So this becomes the one side of a chain, while the responsibility is moved from bottom to top level. That is, the responsibility move from bottom level to middle level and middle level to top level. So it is the another side of a chain, and by this way in the organization, it creates the scalar chain. If we are taking the example of a chain, it having the different points or elements, then it is starting from left side, that is the responsibility move towards bottom level to middle level to top level, while the authority moves from top level to middle level to bottom level. Now discuss this point. This principle emphasizes on creating chain from top level management to bottom level employees. So the chain should be conveyed, or it should be from top level to middle level and from middle level to bottom level. Chain of power from higher administrative officer to bottom level employees should not be broken. It means the power which are awarded or given by the top level management up to the bottom level management should not be broken. It means the top level authorities are deciding on the extent of power that should be provided to each level. It means out of the 100% power, if they are distributing the 60 or 70% powers to the middle level management, and from this 60 to 70% power of middle level management, if they are giving 30 to 40% powers to the bottom level management, but it should be decided well in advance by top level management, and it should not be broken at any of the stage. So the chain of power that is starting from higher administrative officer go through or via the middle level management, it reaches to the bottom level employees, and it should not be broken at any stage of the organization. Next, powers and responsibilities should be vested as per their respective level. It means there is 100% power lies at the top level management, where board of directors, managing director, chief executive officer and general manager are included in top level management, and they are the highest authority of organization. So that's why there should be the highest power and responsibility at top level management. But at middle level management, there are different functional level managers are there, like production manager, finance manager, HR manager, marketing manager, etc. So they should be vested power to their particular department only. It means there is the low level of power and distributed divided by the top level management to middle level management, and from the middle level management to lower level management, where supervisors, jobbers, etc., foremen, etc. are included, there is a very least power and responsibility is distributed among them. I think at least 20 to 30% power, and the power is related with their particular working area and number of employees only. So it should be vested as per their respective level. Next, employees working in a unit should be aware of who is responsible to whom. Now, it is the clear-cut point of organization where the proper command and proper superior and subordinate relationship is established. So all those employees who are working in a unit should be aware that who is responsible to whom. It means he is in a knowledge that he has to reporting to whom or who reports to whom. And that's why employee working in a unit should be aware of who is responsible to whom, and he is responsible to whom, or to whom he is answerable, or to whom he should give his reports and all the necessary information. As a result, a scalar chain occurs. So it is a chain of both the side. From one side, the chain moves from top to bottom, that is the authority moves from top level to middle level to bottom level, while the responsibility is moved from bottom to top, that is bottom level to middle level to top level. And by this way, the scalar chain occurs in the business unit. Scalar chain is helpful in proper maintenance of discipline in the organization. Secondly, the proper chain of authority and command and direction is maintained due to the principle of scalar chain. and it will be helpful in overall management control by the organization or top level authorities itself. So, today we conclude our session over here. In today's lecture, we discuss mainly three principles of management. First one is remuneration of personnel, where we discuss that the remuneration of employees should be suitable. Ideal payment of wages makes stronger relationship between owners and employees, and basically efficient employees are motivated more by the financial management, or we can say the financial motivation provided by the organization, and different promotional schemes like bonus, profit sharing and representation in managerial committee should be implemented for skilled workers, which will increase the productivity of employee and decreases the labor turnover rate. In 8 point we discuss centralization, that is, if powers are not delegated, it is centralization. In any of the organization, there must be clarity regarding the extent of centralization or decentralization, and to make the best use of employee strength, principle of centralization should be adopted. And lastly, in scalar chain we discussed that it is the principle which is creating chain from top level management to bottom level employees. So it moves from top to bottom in the line that it is from the top level to middle level to bottom level, and when the responsibility is moving from the bottom level to middle level to top level, and by this the powers and responsibility should be vested as per their respective level, and here the employees in working unit are aware of who is responsible to whom. So we completing or concluding this session over here. I hope all of you have enjoyed my lecture, and please complete your homework within stipulated time period. Thank you very much, class.